So I'm going to talk about definitions, and at least in, I don't even know if this was last year's edition, but there were 77 definitions somewhere in the last year or two. We're not talking about all of it. There's no way we're going through 77 definitions. But you still should look through them, because even though it seems like, that's just stuff anybody would know, there's things involved in there we need to be aware of. So we're going to go over very few selected definitions, all right? Just to, once again, to emphasize things, because strike zone is one of the definitions, please remember that umpires determine the batter's strike zone according to the batter's usual stance. You have to sometimes you have to watch her for a pitch to see if what is she someone that's down? Does she stay up? But anyway, we use their batter stance, and remember, forward armpit to top of the knees. If you use those as your definitions and you use those as your explanations, not that you have to explain your strike zone to anybody, but you've got rule book to cover you. If you're making stuff up, then you're making stuff up. Well, that's the sternum. Well, where's that at? It's not in our rule book, etc. So here is a graphic where the batter, if she was, it's anywhere in the batter's block, top of the knees, forward armpit. That space in between is the strike zone. I think it's a good idea. I was taught this. It stuck in my mind. If I'm to imagine that space as a plexiglass box, anytime a ball could nick it, anytime there was some nick where that ball comes in and hits that space, then that is, by rule, a strike. Now, we definitely talked last week, and we're not saying, this is 10, this is 12, this is 14. No, you don't do that. The bottom part of the ball hitting the armpit for a 10U, I think you might want to consider that, because you may not be getting a whole lot more than that, but we're not moving up the scale. But we also, like I said, we don't say, this is 12, no, this is a 14. Well, now we're moving to a 16. No, forward armpit, top of the knees is a good place to consider. And, click. The batter changing her position doesn't change the strike zone, because if she moves forward in the box, she doesn't take the strike zone with her. The strike zone stays over top of the box. You're always looking at the plate. That's where the zone is, not up where she's standing. You're still using the indication of forward armpit and knee, but that's what's happening over the box. And the same thing is if she moves to the back. If she moves to the back of the box, she doesn't take the strike zone with her. Strike zone stays where it was at. All right, so it's something to think about. Yes, you're using the forward armpit and the knee as indicators, but the zone itself is physically over the box. So once again, we're looking from side view here. I don't know about the inside outside, but to me that's a strike all day long. At the knee, that's a strike. It's a strike to me all day long. I could easily be said that that's a strike. I mean, is it a low strike? Yeah, it's probably a low strike, but it's hitting the knee for sure. To me, that's hitting the forward armpit. Some will say, and you'll be on the field, I'm not going to call that. That girl's going to college next year. Well, that's good that they're going to college next year, but this is a youth game that we're playing today under USSSA rules. So, once again, 10U, legally, if that bottom of the ball is clicking the top part of the strike zone, that could easily be called a strike, and I don't think you have any problem. Any problems with that being called a strike, Mr. Dial, in a 10U game? Because you don't call that a strike in a 10U game.
10U, you're going a long day if you don't call that a strike.
Yeah. But once again, we're not changing the zone every time a different type of a group comes to us. But at the 10s, just starting to throw, you better say that. Not this, not that, not that. Never a strike. Could have been there. That could have been the 30th one that you've seen. That same girl just threw it. It's still a ball forever, ever, and ever and ever. That's why our games are timed. Actually, it really doesn't matter, because the thing is, you're going to stand out there for an hour and 10 minutes doing something. So, all right, a catch is the act of a fielder with her hands or glove securely gaining possession of the ball. Batted ball, pitched ball, thrown ball. You have to establish the validity of the catch with the fielder proving she has control of the ball and that her release is voluntary and intentional. And as the fielder makes the catch and then drops the ball, transferring from glove to hand, or making a throw, the ball shall be ruled caught. So in these and all, patience is required. Don't be too quick to want to make the out call or the no catch call. For example, upper left, girl definitely hasn't caught the ball. But if it doesn't hit the ground, and now it hits her stomach, and now it's laying on there, and she's trying to find it somewhere, and then she finally finds it, then that would eventually be a catch. But you got to wait to see if it happened. Same thing over here on the upper right. It looks like she's made a catch, but it looks like she's just made an acrobatic catch. So you better wait a half a second because she might be rolling and the ball goes out. So you got to wait. And it looks like she's made a fine catch here, but she also in the next half second might come down, boom, hits the dirt and comes out. Or maybe it, boom, hits the dirt, stays in the air, and she catches the ball. You got to wait. So you got to be patient. Patience is important. A fair ball is a ball that settles or is touched on or over fair territory. It either bounds over any part of first or third. It hits fair and now goes over first or third. Touches first, actually physically touches the bases.
For the first base, it has to be over the white part.
Yes, and we'll talk. That's a good point. We'll talk about the double base in the future, but the white base or the non-colored base is in fair territory. The orange base is in foul territory. While it's on fair territory, it touches the person of any umpire, which it should never touch us, of course, or the player, or their clothing or equipment, except for the batter's box, batter in the batter's box. If it falls beyond first or third first, so a ball is hit with crazy spin, it hits a foot behind third base, there's no question, but that spin brings it back in front of the bag and takes it out of play. That's a fair ball because it first hit beyond the bag, or it could be the same thing on first base too. While it's over fair territory, an offensive player interferes with a defensive player attempting to field the ball. Obviously, there'll be a lot of other things with interference, which we're going to talk about, but that's a fair ball. And a fair flash is going to be judged by the position of the ball in relationship to the line, not the place of the fielder, which I have a graphic to show you. Okay, foul ball, same thing, but the opposite. Okay, settles or is touched on or over foul territory, bounds past first or third, or on or over foul territory. It's fair, it's fair, it's fair, it's not fair. It goes out in front of first or in front of third. Falls to the ground first or is first touched on or over foul territory, beyond first or third. Touches an umpire, player, or any foreign object to the natural ground on foul territory. While it's over foul territory, a runner interferes with a defensive player's attempt to field a batted ball, or it touches the batter or the bat in the batter's hands a second time while the batter's still within the batter's box. If she's bunting, she puts the bunt down, it goes down, boom, immediately comes up and hits the bat while she's still physically holding it, that's a foul ball. Or if she does that same thing, doesn't have to be a bunt, but let's just say it is. It comes down, boom, comes up immediately, hits her body. She hasn't exited the batter's box yet. That's a foul ball. Or it goes directly from the bat to any part of the catcher's body or equipment, and then it's caught. Maybe it goes from bat, hits off the catcher's helmet, and then maybe she catches it or the pitcher comes in to catch it. That's a foul ball because as soon as it hit her, it did not hit her glove at all. It went from bat to body. That becomes a foul ball. Same thing about patience, okay? At this second, is it fair? Well, it probably is, and it might be, but wait, a half a second before it wasn't fair. Until she physically touches it, it's not a fair ball. So don't be too quick to call it a fair ball or a foul ball. Same thing here. It could be fair soon or it could be foul. She may touch it and then it becomes fair. She may miss it completely. It doesn't touch any of her body. It goes through her legs. It rolls back here and stops. That would be a foul ball because she didn't touch it and it ended up there. Or she could miss it completely. Ball could go through her legs, come back here, land on home plate, and stop moving. What would that be? If it landed on it, no touch, roll, boom, lands on home, and is setting on home plate, what is that?
Fair ball.
It's a fair ball because home plate's in fair territory. All right. So, but you have to be patient. The whole deal is patience. Patience. You'll see some of your colleagues Especially a bunt. Bunt goes down to the third base line. It's 3 feet out. But it's still moving. It's 3 feet beyond the foul line. They're going foul ball, but the ball's still rolling. Don't do that. Ball is still rolling because that ball might hit a little rock, might come over this way a little bit. Don't just wait until the ball either stops completely or someone touches it before you rule that, okay? And please remember that a fair ball is a signal only. We're only pointing with a fair ball. We're not verbalizing the word fair. We're just simply pointing, okay? Excuse me. And as I said, it's the position of the ball. Of course, we're at an angle, so we don't see it straight on. But let's say that she reaches out, the ball is in above fair territory. She touches the ball, and now it rolls 12 feet over this way. It's fair ball because she touched it while the ball was over fair territory. Same thing here. Ball, in your judgment, because you're looking down the line, the ball is actually just a little beyond the line and it's in foul territory, and she touches it. Even though her entire body is completely in fair territory, we judge it from where the ball was at in relationship to the line. So that, in that particular scenario, I just said would be a foul ball. Okay? So you have to be patient and wait for it. All right, foul tip. Remember, a foul tip is a batted ball that goes directly and sharply from the bat to the catcher's mitt or hand and is then legally caught by the catcher. Strike of the ball remains. It could be the norm, which is click. You know it's a click because you hear it. She catches it. That's the easy one. That's a you give the signal. That's a foul tip. It's a strike. But it could be bat, glove. I don't know where it's at. Now I catch it again. So that in itself then would make it a foul tip. It has to hit the glove first. Can't hit the body first. It becomes a foul if it hits the body first. And of course, if it's dropped by the catcher, it's a foul ball. And just like I said, it has to go directly to the glove. It can't go from bat, helmet, I catch it, that's a foul ball. We're going to talk much more about appeals. Appeals get used, the word appeal gets used a lot when it's not really an appeal. It's a play or a rule violation on which the umpire doesn't make a ruling unless it's requested by a coach or a player, and that's going to be in the future. We're going to talk more about that. An illegal pitch, we definitely go talk about illegal pitch. Probably next week, I think it is. It's a violation of the pitching rule. It's not a balk if you're coming from the baseball world, but it's that same idea of the pitcher is doing something they're not allowed to. Dead ball, which we talked about, it can be used in a variety of ways. Excuse me, the ball is not in play when you say dead ball. All action stops. When someone says dead ball, everything that happened after that, it's not counting. Delay dead ball is essentially where I see something, I'm going to explain it in a minute. If it's a home plate umpire signaling delay dead ball, they're probably seeing an illegal pitch, of which means after the play's over, they're going to explain and give the coach a choice. If you're in the field and you're signaling delay dead ball, you're probably seeing an obstruction more than likely. It could be an illegal pitch depending on what the situation is. Interference and obstruction, we're definitely going to focus a lot more on that. But interference is an infraction by the offense. It's the act of an offense player who illegally impedes, hinders, or confuses any fielder attempting to make a play, or when a runner creates malicious contact with a fielder, with or without the ball. That's an immediate dead ball. These, I think, are good examples of interference. Once again, these are still photos, so we don't really know what happened just right before. Here it looks to me like here's someone reaching out to get the ball. Someone's making contact with her. We have dead ball. Number 12 is out, or number 11 is out for interference. Over here, always judgment, but she's coming awfully, awfully close to this person that's just about. The runner can make their own choice, but you as an umpire have to get a sense, was that fielder interfered with in any way? Did she want to move a little further, but she couldn't because someone was very, very close to her. All right, so you could have easily interference, and when that happens, it's dead ball. Right at that moment, it's not like, let's see what happens. It's dead ball now, this runner's out, etc.
Rick, for the first picture, if that's the initial play on the ball, then you could have interference. If she's dropped that ball then you've gotta have an intentional reason for interference.
I don't know how you're phrasing it, but they are still allowed a step and a reach.
Step in a reach.
Yeah, which we're going to talk about. So let's
Why
say,
not? She catches it to make a play, and she drops
oh,
it.
if she simply dropped it, that's
Right.
different. But if she has yet to make any contact with the
Right.
ball, you got interference. If she was going to make contact with the ball and it hit off her glove, and now she still is within a step and a reach, she's still protected.
That's
So
an initial play.
yes. So if that happened in that scenario, that would be the
But
case.
they're calling the tag, they throw the tagger out at second.
Yeah,
and
right.
She drops the ball, then somebody has to intentionally interfere, because it's not the initial play on the ball. That's why the definitions are important, Rick.
Right.
The initial play on the ball.
Right.
For instance, that last part right there, if it had ricocheted off of like the pitcher,
Here?
for that batter, and then like that, say like she's the second baseman.
Right.
Well, the initial play is that it already hit a pitcher, so therefore, is that now interference?
Doesn't
because of-
count, because it says any fielder except for the
Yes.
pitcher.
Right, but the pitcher, okay.
Yeah.
Any
Except
fielder
for the
except
pitcher.
for the
Yeah,
pitcher.
I don't know whether it's different in other sport in baseball. I'm not sure, but for us, the pitcher, like Joe said, it's anyone except the pitcher. So if it bounces off the pitcher, it's still the same rules applying to.
Still an initial play.
Okay.
Okay. All right, obstruction. It's an infraction by the defense, and that's the act of a defensive member that hinders or impedes a runner unless they are physically in possession. They are holding the ball, or they're making an initial play on a batted ball. All right. Or there can be a catcher that hinders and prevents a batter from swinging at pitch. That generally what that means is the catcher's reached their glove in too far, and there's that clip before there's any, kind of interfering with the batter. It doesn't matter whether it's physical, intentional. It can be verbal. That's the delayed dead ball. That means I just saw this. I'm going to wait until everything finishes. We're going to go into much more detail than this in the future than today. All right, so here is, and I know we can't see all parts of every play, but up top here, you see how her knee is down here. She looks to be blocking a base. She does not have control of the ball. That's where you as an umpire should be saying, I have obstruction. I see this here. Same thing down on the bottom left. She seems to be obstructing. She does not have possession of the ball. This runner looks to me like she's been hindered because she's trying to get into the bag. And this, where the pitch is coming in and the glove is touching the bat, that would also be obstruction. Okay, there's different things that you can get into as far as what kind of penalty is, etc. But we're going to spend more time in detail on that in the future. But something to start thinking about.
But
Okay.
one thing between baseball and softball, catcher's obstruction, not catcher's interference. It's
True.
Catcher's interference in baseball.
And if you say catcher's interference, no one's going to be terribly mad at you.
Except
Just,
don't call an immediate dead ball.
just start to get used to what the language differences are. All right, a bunt, of course, is a legally batted ball, not swung at. It's potentially tapped slowly to the infield, like these. Okay, we know what that is. This isn't always, but generally speaking, sometimes the player will come in and set up that way, but often they'll come in looking and now they're setting up, they're sliding the hand up, etc. An attempted butt in our world is any movement of the bat toward the ball when the ball is over or near the plate. If you hold the bat in the zone, that is a bunt attempt, whether you made an attempt to make it or not, to tap the ball or not. If the ball goes 7 feet in the air above and she's still doing this, you have a strike because she didn't in any way try to remove herself from the zone. And like I said, to take the pitch, you have to withdraw and pull back. And of course, an attempted bunt that results in a foul ball is treated like any other foul ball, unless there's 2 strikes. So in other words, you can't. If you bunt, you can bunt on the third with 2 strikes. You can bunt, except if it goes foul, then you're out. And lastly, slap hits. We see a lot of those in the softball world. That's when a batter gives the appearance of bunting, but then they use a modified swing or they have slap of where the ball approaches home plate. Both of these would be examples. This is my little graphic stuck in here. She is walking up because they're doing a little 2-3 little shuffle step. She's walking up. Her toe, like Joe was saying a little while ago, is out of the box. That doesn't mean anything in our world. She can have her entire foot out of the box if the back of it is barely touching the line in our world. So if the heel's touching the line in our world, this would be legal. But once again, you're going to see that. That's kind of the whole point. That left-hander, she's taking that little shuffle step. She's coming up. She's going to do a slap. And then you really got to watch because here the foot's on the line. Nothing illegal about that. this foot seems to be in the air. If she's making contact when that foot's in the air, it's still good. All right? If the foot's in the air, if the foot physically touches the ground and now she touches it, then you would have she's out because she batted out of the box. But you have to be real careful with slap hitters because you can get caught like trying to she's moving. No, she's not moving. How far up? You really got to kind of slow yourself down to watch what's going on.
Rick, if I could